Hello and welcome to All About Community. My name is Robert L. Harris and I am your host. My, haven't we had an exciting, actually, it hasn't been exciting, it's been depressing time because of the shootings that have occurred across this nation, the killing of the Asians in Atlanta, Georgia, the shootings just recently with the in Colorado. And, you know, we have problems right here in Oakland with homicides. More than 30 people have been killed since January 1st of this year. But I'm not going to talk about that necessarily today. You know why? Because I have a dynamic council person with me by the name of Carroll, Fife. Carroll, welcome to All About Community.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Harris. It's been a minute since I've seen you in person.
I know. And a lot has happened since then, and I am so excited about the fact that you are now on the city council. So let's talk for a moment about your background. Where did you grow up and all of that stuff?
Well, I have lived in California now the majority of my adult life, the majority of my life. My entire adult life. I moved here 2 months after my 21st birthday, and I'm 40-something right now. So I've lived here for a long time, and so I was born here in terms of my political activity. It was shaped and developed in California, but I'm from Michigan. My parents, my father's side moved from Mississippi during the Great Migration to Michigan, and my mother's side moved from Alabama to Illinois, to Chicago specifically. During the Great Migration, and that's where my parents met and made me. And you know, after working in numerous factories as a janitor, many like low-paid, low-wage jobs, a friend of mine was like, "We should just move to California. Everything is better in California. The jobs pay better, the weather is better, and we'll just be better people if we move to California."
And I suppose that's why Isabel Wilkerson wrote the book, The Warmth of Sun.
Yes, that was a beautiful book.
The Great Migration, absolutely beautiful book. And she has followed it up with another beautiful book,
really?
The Cast.
Okay.
C-A-S-T-E. Just came out 3 or 4 months ago.
Okay. Well, The Warmth of Other Suns was beautiful, and it captured my family's, as well as many Black families' stories about the Great Migration.
Now, were you educated here in the Bay Area?
Yes. I went to every single Peralta community college. So I went to Laney, Merritt. It was Vista College in Berkeley at the time, and the College of Alameda. And I graduated with my associates from Laney College. And then I transferred to Holy Names University.
Oh, right.
And I got my BA in Human Services and Psychology. And I should have finished my master's. I just didn't write my master's thesis.
That's okay, you got plenty of time.
I just got to finish my thesis.
You got plenty of time.
Kimberly Mayfield and Dr. Kitty Kelly Epstein were my professors that helped me through the education program.
Oh, great.
And so that's where I studied to get my teaching credential and get my master's in urban education.
Oh, great. Well, I went to Merritt College. That's one of my favorite institutions.
Same.
Merritt College in the Peralta system. Now, I recall when we were both members of the executive committee of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People.
Yes, sir.
You recall that, don't you?
I recall that, yes. You were one of the go-tos for the wisdom in holding the history of the NAACP for the city of Oakland. So I remember that, yes. It was yesterday, but I'm still there.
I know. I see you on Zoom. You're coming to meetings, and that's important. What do you think of the NAACP in terms of its involvement, especially in terms of positioning you or influencing you to perhaps seek public office?
Well, I think the NAACP, just with the history and the power of the organization, is so critical. What I've been pushing us to do internally is to be more active in Oakland, especially around areas of displacement and housing. I am the chair of the executive committee for our housing justice, and I have not done nearly enough in terms of getting that committee up and off the ground to make sure that our voice is heard as Black Americans, as African Americans in the city of Oakland, as it refers to housing. But, you know, the Oakland NAACP is very active in other areas. I think we need to really address displacement and gentrification so that we can continue to be here and thrive, because that's one of the biggest areas that is impacting our ability to be active.
Now, what influenced you to run for city council?
What influenced me? Well, I've been an organizer for a long, long time. And the conditions that we face, specifically for African Americans, seem to be getting worse.
When you say getting worse, what do you mean?
Our numbers are shrinking. Our numbers are shrinking in the city of Oakland, and the rents are getting higher. It's almost impossible for my peer group to be able to purchase housing. So not even just renting, but just owning your home, it's almost impossible to do. Wages, especially now because of COVID, are especially depressed. It's difficult for people to find work, and our schools are failing. Our children are not graduating from high school or not reading at the appropriate levels. There's just, in every indicator, we are at the bottom, and I wanted to do something about that. And so people have been asking me to run for office for years.
And you decided to take them up on that offer, and we're going to have to go to break, but when we come back, we want to talk a little bit more about Councilperson Fife's decision to run for city council, and some of the things that she wants to do to have an impact on this community. So don't touch that remote. We will be right back with All About Community. My name is Robert L. Harris, and I am your host.